Okay, what's going on, guys? Thanks for finding me on the Unbiased Sports Network YouTube channel over here. Appreciate the support. If you haven't subscribed, would appreciate if you did. If you can give this video a like, would appreciate that as well as we continue to grow this channel. Thanks to you guys. This channel has grown very quickly, and I want to say thank you. Thank you for finding me over here, subscribing, watching, liking videos, commenting. I appreciate all of it. Let's get into some Giants news. So the Giants with a huge win on Sunday Night Football last night against the Washington Commanders, 20-12. They are 8-5-1, and you look at the playoff situation right now. How can they make the postseason? Well, according to Jordan Raanan right here, assuming Washington doesn't upset the 49ers this week in San Francisco, the Giants can actually clinch a playoff spot this week if they win and either Detroit or Seattle loses. So, Seahawks play Kansas City, Lions play Carolina. Seahawks with a fairly tough opponent there. The Lions with a somewhat interesting opponent. I wouldn't say Carolina is that bad. They're fairly competitive for the most part, but certainly not a great team by any means. So that's kind of how it is. The Giants can actually make the postseason this upcoming week if Washington loses, if the Giants themselves win, and then one of Seattle or Detroit lose. Very interesting. And that's where we get to this whole statistical part. If the Giants lost last night's game, they would have had around a 35% chance to make the postseason, similar to what the Commanders are in now. But because they won, an 88% chance of making the postseason. Who would have thought before the season the New York Giants would be 8-5-1 with an 88% chance of making the playoffs at this stage in the year? Really, truly, unbelievably interesting story. Interesting team the 2022 New York Giants have been. And so here are their playoff odds. Like I said, they could actually clinch a spot this week if they win and get a little bit of help. Either way, very good chance to make the postseason as it stands. So, Landon Collins. I feel like I kind of mix in Landon Collins stuff as often as I can because you guys are usually interested in it. A lot of people really are interested in Landon Collins news. They like hearing about Landon Collins. I don't know. I didn't realize he was that much of a fan favorite, but apparently he is. So Landon Collins had a fairly productive game last night against Washington. Two specific, really good tackles that people kind of remember from yesterday's game. One specific on a third down that stopped Washington from converting. So he hadn't played in a while. You know, they signed him, and they really kind of made him more of a linebacker instead of a safety. And he played against the Jaguars, but you didn't see much after that. And they made him active for last night's game, and he performed very well. And that's kind of what the Giants need. They need more of a linebacker presence. We know that that's kind of where they're thin on their defense. And that's where they've been thin for many years, especially like a true middle linebacker. God, that's a good tackler. They had a little bit with Blake Martinez. Blake Martinez got hurt. According to Dan Duggan, he thinks it should be automatic this week that Landon Collins is signed to the 53-man roster. So that's very interesting. We'll see if that happens, but we'll definitely keep a look at it and see if it happens. But the fact that he thinks it's automatic that he will be signed to the 53-man roster this week tells you last night's game certainly had a big impact, or is expected to have a big impact in the decision-making of the coaching staff